So I've tried a lot of things that claim to make life easier, but Nick's leak-proof period underwear is one of the only brands that truly delivers. I no longer wear clunky pads or toxic tampons, and the defining moment for me was when I was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, living in fear that my period would come early. And then I remembered I brought my trusty Knix period underwear, and that fear completely subsided. There's no way I could have been changing pads and tampons at 19,000 feet. So Knix, Knix, has completely changed how I feel about my period. Their leak-proof technology looks, feels, and washes like normal undies, but have a range of absorbencies for your lightest to heaviest days. Up to 6 super tampons, so you are totally covered. Plus, Knix has patented bonded edges to prevent side leaks. And with buttery soft, stretchy fabric in cuts like thong, bikini, boy short, high-rise, and more, you'll find just the right fit. So head to Knix.com and you'll see why I love Knix. Don't forget to use code DATEABLE for 20% off your order. Get leak-proof undies, amazing bras, and more. That's Knix.com, code DATEABLE, Knix.com. Many of you have heard us talk about Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth, the supplement that helps women maintain optimal hormone levels, with over 50,000 glowing reviews from women worldwide and 98% saying they recommend it to friends and family. Now you can take those results even further by pairing it with their prebiotic collagen protein, which helps restore gut lining integrity, promoting overall hormone levels. Now, I've struggled with occasional digestive issues, and since taking the prebiotic collagen protein, I've noticed a real lift in my energy and overall well-being. Happy Mammoth is dedicated to making women's lives easier, and that means using only science-backed ingredients that have been proven to work for women. They make no compromise when it comes to quality, and it shows. Right now, you can try prebiotic collagen protein and Hormone Harmony risk-free and get 15% off your entire first order with the code DATEABLE at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off today. Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
And we are talking about red flags today.
Apparently, you all love that topic.
Everyone loves talking about red flags.
Yeah, interesting. There's been a debate on what are red flags. And then someone gave the example of, well, if someone likes cats and the other person likes dogs, isn't that a red flag? Like, I was going to go in and say something, but then other people chimed in. They were like, that's not a red flag.
I think this is why I find this topic so interesting, because I agree in theory that we should be looking for red flags, things that become detrimental to a relationship and cause us to choose the wrong people. But why I find it fascinating is because we toss up the word red flag for everything nowadays. Everything's a red flag. And it's almost like diminish the actual red flags. And we talk about this in our book, How to Be Dateable. And when you're diminishing the actual red flags and calling everything a red flag, like, how do you even know what to look for anymore? Like, how do you know what matters?
Yeah. A red flag, an actual red flag, calls someone's character into question. It could put your relationship in danger. But if someone likes dogs and you like cats, it doesn't necessarily put either one of you in danger or puts into question someone's character. Although I guess some would argue cat lovers, dog lovers, whatever, that's still not a red flag.
Wait, did someone really write that on our Instagram post or TikTok?
I mean, I can't even keep track because someone's like, what if to that person, that's a red flag? Doesn't have to be a red flag for you as the audience, but what if to that person, it's a red flag?
I just feel like we're using this term so wrong. That's a preference, right? Like, you don't have to agree with someone's preference, but does them liking dogs or cats make them like a terrible person that you shouldn't enter a relationship with? I feel like we're confusing preferences and quirks. And, you know, we hear people like, oh, they wore this like weird outfit. That's a red flag. And it's like, it might not be your choice and preference and personal style, but doesn't mean they're going to be a bad person.
Is it just part of this cancel culture that we're all living in, where we're just finding any and every excuse to say no to someone just so we don't get our hearts broken? Like this has got to come from somewhere that we need to find an excuse to say no to someone.
Well, I definitely think it's a defense mechanism. I think there's a lot of that with dating being so public nowadays. And I mean, we've seen like reports of Gen Z like being really terrified of rejection. I mean, no one likes rejection, but it feels like it's become even more something that people fear. And when you throw up a red flag at people, you can essentially reject them before they reject you. And I think there's a lot of like power in that when you're more, I guess, I don't want to say, I don't know, maybe someone will be offended by this, but like more an immature dater. I think like I look back to the days where I was like finding faults with people, and it was because I was an immature dater. Like I didn't want my ego to get crushed. And like that was more important to me than actually opening myself up for love. And I think if you're dating under that mentality, of course you're looking for all the red flags and things you can tell your friends, because dating, it's almost more of this sport or like TV show that you're watching. It's like commentary that, I don't know, it's like you're almost like living your own reality TV show that you can dissect with friends. It's different than like when you're actually going out there to look for the right partner for you.
Yeah, it's this pageant mentality. We think we are the judges. And we think we can be judgmental and pick people apart, especially people we don't know very well. And that's why so many people feel disheartened by dating, because we don't treat each other like people anymore. We treat each other like objects for commentary. Do you think there's a difference between red flags and the ick?
I mean, I think there should be. I think the line has been blurred. I think the ick to me, it's like something that turns you off. Again, it's not like a red flag. Like I think when I hear red flag, or like the true definition, is like things that could become deal breakers in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like if someone like, I don't know, chews with their mouth open, sure, like that might give you like an ick feeling. But again, they're not going to be like someone that like is a terrible emotionally or physically abusive partner to you. They just chew with their mouth open. So I think we conflate these a lot. And I think icks in today's culture can turn into red flags, but I also think the word red flag is wildly misused.
Well, I think people treat icks like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
When icks are, by definition, a preference, kind of, right? It is a preference,
or
in
it's
most
like
cases.
A thing that turns you off. But the reality is when you're in a real relationship with someone,
oh, so many things will turn you off.
Yeah. And you're going to do things that turn them off. Or if not, you're living a very uncomfortable life. Like, that's all I can say.
There's going to be a lot of things that turn you off.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of icks.
Like if you're holding in every burp or fart or anything gross you have in your life, like have fun in that life. Feels exhausting.
That gassy life. But what are actual red flags? Maybe we should dive into how we can tell if we are facing a real red flag versus just a preference.
I think it's important because we don't want to diminish red flags, because actually, I think when we are in the culture we're in today, it's what we call in our book the settling paradox, that we refuse to settle for certain attributes, but that we settle for like bad behavior. Like we won't date someone that's not over 6 feet, or, you know, whatever other traits or characteristics we think are like the must-haves. But like if they don't want to like be in a committed relationship, or they only hit us up at like 2 a.m., cool, like no big deal.
Yeah.
That's like the problem with red flags too. It's like when we are actually overlooking like actual like abusive behaviors and controlling behaviors, that to me is extremely problematic. And when we're so focused on these like little trivial things.
Well, only texting you at 2 a.m. is a red flag.
Yes,
we can
that
start with
should
that
be
one.
the red flag. But like no one calls that out as a red flag, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's an actual red flag. I think just any sort of like deprioritization of you and the relationship, that's a red flag. But I wouldn't even say that's an extreme red flag, because maybe that's an opportunity for conversation. Maybe there's a miscommunication, or you haven't communicated your needs. That's not even a deal breaker red flag.
Isn't that all of it though? A red flag is like a prelude to a deal breaker. It's like something you notice and you're like, this doesn't feel right. This could be a deal breaker, or we could have a conversation to clear it up. So to me, that is what the actual definition is. Like I'm seeing something that feels off. Let me explore it. And yeah, when someone is only hitting you up and not really like acting like like they want to be in a relationship. I actually put on my list in prep for this, you and I both made a list of the top, I don't know, I picked 5. I don't know if you did too, but
Same.
okay, 5 is always a round, even number of like the ones like
Well,
if we
not
were,
even,
not,
but
not even, but it's like the number you go to. I always feel like when I think of like the top whatever, it's always 5. Anyways, we reflected back into our own experiences, into experiences that we've heard on this podcast, everything we've learned in the last 10 years of doing Dateable, and like, what are the biggest red flags to us? And one I put on my list was actually in this camp of they say they don't want to be in a relationship because
yeah. Wow.
it's
That's a red
amazing
flag.
how overlooked that can be when it's so blatant. And I think like, yeah, I'd say this one is debatable that it could just be a deal breaker as well. Maybe you have that conversation of like, what does this mean? And if they're like, yeah, I really don't want to be in a relationship, then to me, that's a deal breaker. But them like going around and only giving you like that minimum effort and actually even saying what they like, a lot of times people are actually quite honest about what they want, especially if they don't want a relationship, because it almost like wipes their hands clean. Like they're like, well, I told you I didn't want a relationship.
But sometimes we make the excuse that they're being vulnerable and honest by telling us they don't want to be in a relationship. It's their cry for help. They're looking to change. Do you hear all that?
Or we can change them. I fell into this for a while.
We have this translator that's like, no, that's not a red flag. That's just a challenge for me.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds so dumb saying it out loud. Like someone tells you they don't want to be in a relationship, yet you continue to pursue them. But I did this for years.
Right. Well, because they're not just saying, I don't want to be in a relationship with you.
They're also
still
giving it.
Being affectionate. Yeah. They're calling you at 2 a.m.
Or even not even always at 2 a.m. Like sometimes they're actually doing like relationship-like behavior.
Yeah.
But they still have that wall up that they're like, I don't want to actually be in something real with you.
Yeah. Nope. But it's a red flag because they're telling you exactly what they're feeling, which is they don't want to be in a relationship with you. My top red flag, one of the top red flags, is they consistently talk shit about their exes. I find this to be a red flag because I feel like it shows unfinished business in those previous relationships, and they haven't reconciled their anger towards whatever happened in the past. And then they're bringing that energy into your current relationship. Yeah, maybe it's a reason to talk about it. Like, is there something unresolved? Is there no closure? But I also think someone who's just always bashing their exes, it's just like not a good energy to be around.
Yeah. Have you felt like you've dated anyone or gone on dates with anyone that you saw did that and you were like, ugh?
Yes, definitely been on dates with people who just spent the whole time talking shit about their ex and also not taking accountability for the failure of those relationships. And you're just kind of like, why waste my time talking about something I was not involved in? And obviously, there's something unresolved here.
Actually, that leads me to my biggest one. I mean, outside of the just don't want to be in a relationship in the first place, because I feel like that's a non-starter. But let's say you actually get into a relationship with them. My biggest one is no accountability. Like someone that can never see their side of things. Because let's be honest, when there's an issue, there's always 3 sides. Your side, their side, and what actually is happening. And it's usually somewhere in the middle. And if you are complaining about someone's behavior, usually you're contributing to that behavior in some way.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like when people are like, well, they don't come to me for issues. And it's like, are you a safe space? Like, there's always like the second side of it. And I think like no accountability, like that also leads to like blaming you. Like if they're not able to see their side, it's always your fault. Or they only like performatively apologize. Like they don't actually do it. Like to me, like how do you have a relationship with someone like that?
Yeah, you can't because it's not a 2-way street.
And I feel like this is actually something you can pick up on early dating because like accountability is something that happens a lot. Like if someone makes a mistake or something doesn't sit right with you, if they just like brush it off or blame you or turn it around on you, like those are all signs. And that's again, need for further discussion of a red flag. And if they're like still in denial and no accountability, then to me, that's a deal breaker.
It's very telling in the way they speak about their previous relationships, right? If they're the one blaming their ex for everything and I did everything right and she did everything wrong and she was mean and she was this, and you ask, like, did you contribute to any of this? Nope. It was all her. Then like,
It's never
okay,
all
you
one
lack
person.
accountability. There's no way
No.
all the fault is on one person, ever.
Yeah. I want to dive into this even more, but before we do, let's take a quick break to hear from our partners. You guys know I'm all about clean eating, but I just learned about the hidden microplastics in my home. That's why I've made the switch to Blue Land across all the cleaning products around my house. Their products meet the highest standard of clean. They're effective, yet gentle on my family and the planet. Blue Land was also named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land's formulas are 100% microplastic free, made with certified clean ingredients free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals that are safe to use around my household. I love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets my house clean. The dishwasher and laundry tablets are now staples in our home. Blue Land has a special offer for our listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/dateable. You won't want to miss this. blueland.com/dateable for 15% off. That's blueland.com/dateable to get 15% off. Cooler days call for layers that last, and Quince is my go-to for quality essentials that feel cozy, look refined, and won't blow your budget. Think a Mongolian cashmere sweater for only $50, premium denim that fits like a dream, and luxe outerwear you'll wear year after year. I'm eyeing their wool coats. They look designer level but cost a fraction of the price, and the quality just as good, if not better, because Quince partners directly with top-tier ethical factories and cuts out the middleman. I recently went on quite the Quince haul, getting a tan cashmere sweater and silk skirt I plan on wearing to Thanksgiving. Find your fall staples at Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dateable.
What's the one thing about your health you wish someone had told you years ago? Well, for me, it's how important the gut is. Truly, the gut is the foundation of overall health and vitality. It's not just about digestion. The gut affects everything from your energy levels and mood to weight management and even longevity. And while most gut supplements contain probiotics or probiotics and prebiotics at best, Bioma contains all three essential ingredients your gut needs. Visit gobioma.com/dateable today. That includes prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. Each ingredient is science-backed and third-party tested. Just take 2 capsules before breakfast and take the guesswork out of feeling your best. Visit gobioma.com/dateable today for an extra 15% off your order. That's gobioma.com/dateable and get an extra 15% off. My next one is they don't have any close friends. I think that's a red flag because they don't know how to maintain and develop relationships, not just romantic ones. And also sometimes I find don't have close friendships because they don't want to be seen in that way. They don't want to let themselves be fully authentic. They don't want other people to see their vulnerability.
The only one I guess the only caveat I'll throw on this one, and again, red flag doesn't mean it's a deal breaker. It's a reason to explore.
Mm-hmm.
I do think like there's a lot of studies that men like just do not have the same level of friendship as women do. And then like, I don't know, especially when you're get older and people are in different life stages, sometimes it's hard to stay close to friends. Like we hear this for a lot from men and women. So I just wouldn't want someone that's listening to be like, well, I don't really have close friends right this minute. Like, am I a red flag? Like I see like the point you're making with it. I just want to like call out the other side of it too, that like sometimes circumstantially it doesn't always lend itself. Again, red flag doesn't mean deal breaker.
Totally. I agree with that. But I also don't believe in circumstantially. I just think relationships are built. And if you don't make the effort, if both people don't make the effort, then there's no relationship, there's no friendship, regardless of where you live and where you are in life. And I think when people kind of give up on the platonic relationships in their life, I don't see how they can put in effort into a romantic relationship, or they may only count on the romantic relationship to fulfill all that they want in their life. So I still think it's a red flag in that I would be curious, why do you not have any close friends? And have you tried? Like, have you tried maintaining some friendships?
Yeah. I think the one that I would go to next is like you can't be yourself around them. Like you
Oh, yeah.
feel like you're always performative, or you always feel like you have to put on an act, or you just don't feel like yourself. I think to me that's a
Yes.
huge red flag because it feels like there's something that's not making you comfortable with this person, or it's something deeper within yourself that you feel like you have to fit a certain role in a relationship. And again, that's why
Yes.
it's red flag, not deal breaker. It's a reason for pause. And the pause could be like, am I not showing my true self because I feel uncomfortable? Or do I not
Mm-hmm.
know who I am? Or am I conditioned to be this way in relationships? But I think it's definitely an opportunity to say, like, why is this happening? Like, what is going on for me? And is this something deeper that this person's just not right for me?
Right. Yeah, that's a really big one. And I think that's definitely worth a conversation to be had. Um, my next one would be they go to extremes. And what I
Mm,
mean by this is you just seem very extreme behavior. Like, for
yeah.
example, when they go out, they have to be blackout drunk.
Yeah.
When they go drinking, they got to be, fainting on the floor. When they go on a trip, they have to be like fully immersed in like super extreme in whatever sport that they're doing. Like when you see that extreme behavior, it does make you wonder, what is it that you're coping or hiding or trying to brush under the rug? And then
Yeah.
why do you have to engage in that kind of extreme behavior? I can clearly see this in going out. I know people who are like, when they go out, it's like, we got to go all out. We got to
Yeah.
just, we got to really take advantage. And I just question, like, why? Why, dude? Like, why do you have to go that extreme?
Well, I think that impulsive behavior too, there's a couple other
Yeah.
things I think of like substance abuse in general. And then also I think sometimes like cheating happens when people are in extremes.
Right.
So I do think I agree with you. I think the impulsive or like love bombing, like at the beginning, it's all
Yes.
hot and they don't even know you, and then pull away and it's cold, like any roller coaster of feelings and emotions and like on again, off again situations, like all of that is huge red flag. But I think like
Yes.
this is a good one to really step into of like, why are things so extreme highs and lows? And
Yeah.
is there something deeper here?
Yeah.
Okay, my last one is that it tends to be one sided. And I
Mm-hmm.
think this could mean a lot of different things. Like one sided could be you're always the one making plans.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like for instance, like the emotional labor is only on one side too. Like let's say like they constantly need emotional reassurance,
Mm-hmm.
but like they don't actually ever reassure you in any way, or like
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is. Like I think if you're always talking about like someone's job and their life and how terrible things are, and then they're like never making space for your challenges, that to
Mm-hmm.
me is one-sided. It's like they want the benefits of having a support system without being a support system.
Yes. Yes. And then you feel like it's harder to get out of something like that because you put in so much effort and time into
Yeah.
it, trying to nourish that relationship, but you don't get the reciprocity back. So
Yeah.
then it's harder for you to pull out of something like that.
And I
Yeah.
think this one could be very apparent on early dates too. Like if you're in a one, like let's say on an early date, it's like one-sided convos and they only want to talk about themselves. I think, yeah, again, red flag, need for
Yeah.
pause. It could just be first date nerves. It doesn't mean that they're going to be a terrible partner, but it's something to consider. Like if the first date nerves pass and you go on that second date and it's the same stuff over and over again, and you can barely get in a word or the convo always turns into their stuff, that to me shows it's one-sided.
Yeah. I'm actually debating on my last one because there's a few more that I can
I
think
mean, there's
of.
so many, but
There's so many. One that I can think of is they constantly play the victim,
Mm,
that victim mentality. You can hear it in the way they talk about their past traumas and relationships and experiences. And they were the one that was being taken advantage of. They were the one that was abused. They were the one that was hurt. They were the one that was traumatized. And I'm not diminishing any of those experiences, but the way someone tells their narrative is so telling of where they are in their life and maturity level. If someone's like, all the shit happened to me, it was bad, but this is what I've taken away from it, and this is how I'm thriving because of it. That's a different narrative than woe is me, everything bad always happens to me. Why is life so unfair to me?
yeah.
Because in a relationship, that's going to translate into, oh, I'm the victim though, or I'm the one with the problems. I'm the one that needs a little bit more nurturing. You don't need me. I need you more than you need me. And then it becomes like what you were saying, Julie, it's like that one-sided relationship.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think the victim mentality, it's hard because I think sometimes that could be like the trauma bond on the first date. And you might
Yes.
actually feel close to this person, like they're
Yes.
revealing a lot. But I think a lot of times people that do reveal a lot of victimhood on like early dating, they just are looking for like a therapist. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to turn into the therapy session on your date.
No.
So yeah. And that will be your
No.
relationship, basically. You will be the therapist in your relationship.
No. And you don't want to be the therapist. That's a therapist's job.
Right.
To be the
No,
therapist.
definitely not. And I get like there's a difference, I think, too, of someone that shares something of their past. One, they share it when the trust is earned. They're not doing it on a first date when they don't know you at all. But when they do it, they're framing it in I've learned this, or I've
Yes.
come back this way. And like it shows more of that hero's journey. It doesn't mean that everything needs to be resolved and no one's 100%. But I think when you're just like festering in the victimhood and not actually no accountability or not taking any action, that is going to be an exhausting relationship.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like that's the biggest red flag. That truly is a deal breaker in my mind when it is a one-sided conversation with someone who is not taking accountability, who thinks they're the victim. To be in a relationship with someone like that will go nowhere because you're constantly going to have to be catering to this person.
And even worse if they say they don't want to actually be in a relationship with you. They suck it. All the emotional energy anyway, the relationship energy without giving anything back.
Oh, that energy vampire. No,
I was going to say it's a relationship vampire. Like they really
That's the biggest deal breaker. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it when you go on a date with someone. Do I feel like they were a vampire on this date? That could be that red flag, that the elusive biggest red flag you can be looking for on a date. It's not what they like to eat, whether they like dogs or cats or what they're wearing. It is completely their mindset and their attitude in relation to you.
I mean, I think we've had this advice on the podcast before, but like listening to your body and how you feel, because I think when you can't be yourself around them or they're sucking out all the energy, you feel that in your body.
Yes.
And listening to that. And I like what you just said of like, we don't need to microanalyze all these little things. What's the big picture of how I feel around this person?
Right.
Okay.
We did it.
The top 10 red flags, according to the two of us. What are other ones, though? Please leave them on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening to this. You can even write us a review on Apple Podcasts and tell us your red flags in the review. just leave 5 stars with that review because that's a red flag when you only leave less than 5 stars.
The biggest red flag is when you leave less than 5 stars and you write this glowing
Yes!
review. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. It's like 3 stars. Love these girls.
Yeah.
Love this podcast. They're so good. They helped me get through a breakup. You're like, why? Why did you deduct the 2 stars?
We've gotten that before.
That is such a red flag.
But we mostly get 5 stars. So all the people giving
right.
5 stars, you are not a
Thank
red
you.
flag. You are green flags all around.
Yes. You deserve an award, a trophy, according to Julie.
Yes. And remember to pick up How to Be Dateable, the essential guide to finding your person and falling in love. We have a whole section about the real red flags to look out for, including a nifty little table. We have a lot of like fun diagrams. I know it sounds not fun when I say it that way, but trust me, it is fun.
Nifty table.
We have charts and tables.
That is how my high school math teacher tried to get us to do math. There's a nifty table on page 32.
Oh, I know. When I said that, I was like, this does not sound fun at all. But
fine.
It is. Trust us.
To someone
it's
out
fun.
there, it sounded
it's
fun.
If you thought it was fun, we see you. We get you.
Yeah, we get you. We get you. All right. We'll be back. In the meantime, send us your red flags. Send us your questions. Send us your love.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
Bye.